live across Australia and across the world. This is Live FM, and we're at STEM Mad 2019. I'm Ralph Barba, and I've got the great pleasure of speaking to the team from Our Lady Sacred Heart College of Bentley. How are you guys? How are you going?
Yeah, really well, thanks, Ralph.
I might just turn you up a bit there. We've got a lot of buzz going on in the background. You can hear me quite well, can you, guys?
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yes.
We've got Isabella, we've got Joanne, we've got Hallie and Diane Byers, the head of science from the school. It's really great to speak to you. You look so happy, so excited to be here, Diane.
Yeah, it's a wonderful opportunity. We're very grateful to Catholic Education for giving us this chance to be here and for the girls to come along and be able to share what they've been working on for the last couple of months.
Okay, guys, what year level are you in there, Hallie?
I'm in year 8.
Year 8?
I'm in year 9.
Year 9? Sorry, you are obviously Joanne and Isabella?
Also year 9.
Okay, so I used to call year 8 and year 9 the black hole of teaching because there wasn't a lot of direction. I mean, you didn't have the excitement of year 7 coming out of primary school, and then you got year 11 and 12, which is a focus on university and ATAR and all that sort of stuff. So year 8 and 9, you need to be excited, don't you? So Isabella, what do you love about the sort of work you guys are doing in STEM at your school?
I love that STEM sort of combines a lot of my favourite subjects actually into hands-on sort of practical activities that are really enjoyable, and they can make a difference in the world, as we can see today.
And I'm relying on you as a generation to make a difference in the world because we've stuffed it up, my generation. Joanne, what do you love about STEM?
I just like the challenges given to us. They're challenges that are needed in the real world, and they prepare us for, as you said, we're the next generation. They do prepare us for what is ahead of us. And as Isabella said, the hands down, getting into that job. It's a lot of fun.
Fantastic. And Hallie, tell me how you guys are going to save the world through the STEM education, because you got to fix up what we've mucked up, haven't you?
Yeah. I just think our generation, we should really just have everyone's voice heard. So not just 2 or 3 main groups talking about things, just everyone putting in their own, and so we can get a really good understanding of what we should do and ideas that people have.
Well, you are broadcasting around the world right now, so you're going to have a fairly good voice on this example here. Diane, thanks for joining us. The girls obviously love the STEM program. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of STEM at your school?
STEM has sort of been developing for the last 2 years. So it took off probably earlier in about term 2 of last year, and we learned about the MAD showcase, and we had a little bit of a science club going at lunchtimes, and it evolved from just a science club to actually a STEM club. And then I like the concept of STEAM because I think that involving art actually helps with ideation, because you develop very creative thinking skills and abilities, and that's what's an essential part of the STEM process, is that creative thinking. We hear about critical thinking skills and creative thinking skills, and this is where it's drawn in.
Yeah.
So we started developing a program last year, and the girls loved it. And I mean, realistically, what students come in during their school holidays to actually do work?
Yeah.
My girls came in during the last school holidays, gave up their holiday time, just because they wanted to be there to finish their projects.
Yeah, but I don't want to underestimate. I mean, obviously the project was fantastic. It really got you fired up. But having a passionate teacher like Diane Byers, that's got to have something to do with it, doesn't it, girls?
Definitely.
She's taken us a long way.
Yeah, so tell us about that, Joanne. I mean, teachers don't always get the accolades they should. And Diane, I can see already that you've got the passion. So, Diane, tell us a little about Diane as a teacher.
She's amazing. She's always looking for the best out of all of us. Stop blushing. She's looking for the best and wants the best and wants us to be motivated by our own passion. And she wants us to be able to want to do something and not because we're told to and we have to.
Yeah.
And I think everyone here from our school has got that drive from our teacher.
Yeah.
Because she leads it by example.
On you, Diane, because it's important to hear that, because often teachers don't always get the good rap that they should deserve. And so tell us a little bit, Isabella, about the actual innovation you guys are showcasing today.
So my team is trying to conserve the currently endangered species of the yellow-footed rock wallaby, who They live in South Australia. That's like pretty much the only area you can find them. And the current drought has meant that they're having a really hard time accessing fresh food and water. The quality and quantity has really diminished. So we are designing a system that uses a solar pump to get the water from underground, about 5 metres below the surface, and bring it up and use it to water a wicking bed, which is a type of gardening bed where we can grow grass, and also go to a water trough for the wallabies to access water as well as that food.
Fantastic. Because what I love about the STEM projects on show today is that they're there to address a community problem. So, Joanne, tell us how this can maybe expand from the sort of unresourced type project you guys are doing now. Where can this go down the track?
Well, I know all of our projects are working towards getting out there. As you said, our ideas want the Melbourne Zoo to be involved and to recreate our ideas to be able to help the animals that we're doing, for example, the meerkats and the lemurs. We want the Melbourne Zoo to take our ideas and bring them to life to be able to enrich their habitat.
So there's a little bit of entrepreneurship here too, Ellie. So how are you going to sell it to Melbourne Zoo? By the way, they're here today, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So you can have a chat to them.
I know. That's actually one of the good things about them being our sponsor. We can actually talk to some of the people and they might be able to take on some of our ideas that we have. Just to clear some things up, we all have different projects that we're doing.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. All right, so let's go with yours, Hallie. What are you presenting today?
So my group is, we're trying to enrich the meerkat enclosure. So we have created 2 different activities. One of them is a maze, which like replicates kind of the burrows that meerkats make underground. And then another is a kind of, you know the game where you hang the donuts and you try to eat them without your hands?
No, that's a young person's game. That's
it's kind of pumpkins hanging from a string and there's food inside of them and the meerkats have to jump and try to get the food knocked out of the pumpkins.
Fantastic. And where can that go? In the same sort of way that Isabella's program can go linked with Melbourne Zoo? Is that how you want to...
Yeah. So because of our ideas don't actually change the whole enclosure, they're quite easy to would be a little bit easy to install and it wouldn't change too much of the existing enclosure that's there. So I think that would make it easier for the Melbourne Zoo to actually take on and use.
Fantastic. And Joanne, yours?
We've created enrichment ideas for the ring-tailed lemur. So we've created a seesaw for them to play on. We've also created many toys that they can earn food from. And most of our ideas, we want the lemurs to enable their cognitive thinking by seeing something that they want, but having to figure out how to get it. We've also come up with a fundraiser that we want, because lemurs, they love to paint. So by the paintings that they
paint... Sounds like you know lemurs quite well.
Yes, we've done our research.
Okay, fantastic.
So
they love to paint.
They do love to paint. The zookeepers come in sometimes with paper and paint and they just go for it and there's artworks there that they've created. So we're planning on maybe selling those to the public to create the money to be able to enrich their habitat. We've also come up with a campaign to bring in toilet rolls to get the kids involved and create food troughs for the lemurs to eat from.
So, Diane, tell us, this is fertile imagination here with this group. How do the kids come up with this sort of stuff?
There's a lot of brainstorming that goes on in the group to begin with. So we look at a problem that we see that exists and then they all sit around together. There's a lot of ideas just being flung around. Nothing's wrong to begin with, nothing at all. There's a lot of divergent thinking going on. And so we put them all out on the table and we say, right, what do we like about these? We're really quite critical about the pluses and the minuses. And then that sort of converges our thinking back down again to say, right, these are viable ideas. Let's now move forward with those and do some further research to see if they'll actually work. Because, of course, you know, ultimately when we do make a product or a prototype, it then has to be tested to see if it has to undergo through further refinements.
Of course.
Which we'd like to think that with the work that girls have developed, would be possible to try at the Melbourne Zoo to see if we can use it or they can use it at the Melbourne Zoo. Isabella's project and her team is quite different because the area they're focused on is Arkaroola, which is about 600 k's north of Adelaide in the Flinders Ranges.
Yep.
And Arkaroola is a sanctuary. Doug Sprigg, his father actually started the sanctuary many years ago, and Doug is now still in charge. But we listened to a radio interview of him, and he was telling us about all the problems that are posed there.
Okay.
And it really struck home, And that's the thing also, there's no point doing these projects if you don't have a feeling of empathy for what's going on.
Yeah.
You have to be able to feel for the problem that you're trying to solve.
Yeah, and that's half the battle of the teaching it, isn't it? I mean, you're not even teaching it; they're driving it, aren't they? The kids.
Absolutely.
What I love about the whole STEM sort of momentum movement is that it's almost like a project-based learning aspect. From start to finish, kids drive it. Teachers are more facilitators to support the way, and the passion shines.
Absolutely. We're hoping to create critical thinking, creative, global citizens. Because you mentioned before about, us humans crushing our natural ecosystems. That's probably, just a starting point for what's going on in the future. And if we don't create citizens of the future that have global awareness and awareness of their global footprint, then we're not doing the right thing in schools.
Yep.
It's an absolute must.
Good stuff, guys. Look, I'm inspired by you guys, and you're the first interview today. So congratulations on what you guys are doing. Diane, what will the world look like in 10 years' time with kids like this? Maybe 15 years' time, because you're quite young. 15 years' time, I'll give you a bit of time to fix things up. What will the world look like with this STEM movement and the sort of kids, the way they embrace it?
I think that it's going to, hopefully it'll be far more collaborative when it comes to looking at what the problems of the world are and how we're going to go approach and solve them. They'll be far more digitally literate than we are, and that'll be a very important part of that solution.
Fantastic. Congratulations, guys. I can't wait to get down there and see what you guys are doing. But thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. You're very welcome.
Yeah, that's
Thank you.
That's a crew from Our Lady of Sacred Heart College in Bentley. We've got Isabella, Joanne, Hallie, and the brilliant teacher, Diane Byers, Head of Science there at the school.